friends. So in today's class we are going to learn about the Chinese civilization. So in earlier classes we learned about the Mesopotamian civilization and the next advanced stage, that's the Egyptian civilization, and the next advanced stage, that's the Indus Valley civilization, and the most advanced civilization, that is the Chinese civilization that didn't even decline. Okay, now let me introduce the topic for you. But before introducing, can I give you a small fact? So, in 1984, the farmers who were digging a well in the northern China, they accidentally discovered the terracotta army. It's nothing else, it's a small type terracotta army. Do you know what's terracotta? It's nothing than a reddish small type of clay. So they discovered the terracotta army, and the archaeologists have recently they found thousands of life-size terracotta warrior sets. So the uniform of each soldier was defined, and no soldiers have the same facial expressions. One soldier will be like this. One soldier will be like this. So they'll be having different facial expressions. So this terracotta army was made to guard the tomb of the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang. Okay. So they also, the recent excavations, they found many life-size statues of dancers and acrobats. Acrobats are nothing than, do you know people who used to be in circus? They used to do something else like circus, no? So those type of people, they are only known as acrobats. So that's the fact which I need to give to you. Okay, now let me introduce the topic for you. So all the civilization came near a river, am I right? So this Chinese civilization came near what river? Then everyone will be thinking, it must be coming near the Indus river. Because the Indus river it's flowing near China, really. It's flowing through near the China. But you'll be thinking like that. No. Huanghe River and Yangtze River. So the Huanghe River, if you are feeling difficult to pronounce, you can call it as Yellow River. So around 1800 years, a civilization arose in China along the river of Huanghe. So this river, it provided some water for cultivation of crops. But do you know, this Huanghe River is known as the sorrow of China. It's because the Huanghe River changed its course. Course means if it is just flowing like this line, suddenly it will go like this. That's the thing. So after floods, you will be changing its course. That's a very serious problem for the people, and they defended heavily on this Huanghe River. So that's why this river is known as the sorrow of China. Okay, now we can learn about the society, but before that, let me tell you about the dynasties. So no civilization before classes did I tell you anything about dynasties? Because in the other civilization, no dynasties were followed. But in the Chinese civilization, many dynasties were followed. So two dynasties I'll teach you. Okay. So Shang dynasty. So they united a major part of China under one ruler. Okay. So the Zhou or Zhou, that dynasty, they succeeded the Shang, that people, and they got all that place. So they ruled under the 3rd century BC. Until that time they ruled. So many other dynasties followed. Next. Many other dynasties followed. So each dynasty, it was a major reason for the progress of this Chinese civilization. Okay, now we can learn about the society. So like the other civilization and this Chinese civilization also, they had a king. So the the social ladder. Which person will be the next? Everyone will be thinking, priests and rich merchants. No, it's nobles. In the other civilization, in the third place only nobles will be there. But in this civilization, no, second place. So these nobles, they assist the king. They give many answers to that king. Next come the artisans, craftsmen, merchants and farmers. So the farmers, they form the bulk of the population. And at the last, what you're thinking is right, slaves. They were in the bottom of the social ladder. So that's all we need to know about the society. Religion. So in this civilization, they didn't worship gods. They worship the different forces of nature. So like they'll be worshipping the sun like that. So they worship the forces of nature, and they also did this. They had ancestor worshipping. They worshipped their ancestors, and they believed that the people who died will be turning into a powerful soul which had to be worshipped. Okay. So the another thing which the people believed is oracles and priests. They are very close to the gods. So that the people who want to know about their future, they used to consult these people. And after a long time, the people accepted Confucianism and Taoism as their religion. And I want to tell you one thing about society too. I'll tell you now, okay? Family. So the people lived in small clans of the family. So the family was a very important unit for this Chinese people. So the head of the family was highly respected, and the children, they respected their elders. So the Chinese people, they also worshipped their ancestors, as we saw in the religion. Occupations. So the major occupation of the Chinese people is, as you think, it is agriculture. All the civilization, the major is agriculture only, as the civilization they rose near rivers. Okay, now any difference can you see between this? Something agriculture, sericulture. You will be thinking then, both same. No, they are not same. So agriculture means the cultivation of crops which we eat. Sericulture means the cultivation of crops for other purposes. For example, they are cultivating in Chinese. They'll be reading silkworms on mulberry trees, and they'll be getting silk. Are they eating it? No, they are just weaving the thread. That's the thing we need to know in the sericulture. Okay, now I will tell you the main facts. So agriculture was the major occupations of the Chinese people, and a vast irrigation. Irrigation network means something like separation of a river into canals. That's known as irrigation. So a vast irrigation network, it provided an increase in the crop protection. Okay. So the Chinese people, they grow crops like rice, wheat, barley, sorghum. These are new words for you. Sorghum, soybean, then millets, and also tea. That's the main thing, tea. So this Chinese people were the first people to cultivate tea. So initially, the people, they grew tea as the tea leaves were used as a medicinal source. Later, tea became a popular drink and across the whole globe. For many centuries, China was the only reason for the development of the tea across the world, and for the China, the tea was the chief export. Export means, as in only China tea is cultivated, no? So they want to export to other countries. That's why it's known as chief export. Sericulture. As I told, they cultivated silk. Not cultivated, they reared silkworms on mulberry trees, and they got silk from them. And the weavers, they wove cloth with the help of the thread. So the Chinese people, the Chinese silk was very famous, and their silk was also a chief export. Metalwork. So the Chinese people, they were very clever in making the metalworks. So they made many weapons, tools, and they even made some type of statues with the help of this with the help of their knowledge. And the next one is pottery making. So what do you think? The people might have the pottery which the people made, the material, what it may be, it's not mud. You might have been heard apparatus, chemistry apparatus. In before class I told you. The chemistry apparatus, it is used for evaporating liquids. Can you find it? Porcelain. So that's the material that is used by the Chinese people to make the pottery. So these pottery, they used to be very shining and they used to be very glossy, and they'll be decorated with many designs. Okay, designs like the figures of animals and dragons. So these type of this pottery, they're known as Chinaware. So they are also a chief export. So now we learned about 4 occupations. The main is agriculture, the next one is sericulture, then metalwork, pottery making, and the next is woodwork. So in the other civilization, they constructed the buildings with the help of baked bricks. But in here, they use wood. So amazing, am I right? They use wood, really. So timber was very popular in China. So the people, they used timber for building many palaces, and this timber was mainly polished. And this timber was used for building many houses and buildings. That's the main thing which we need to know in the woodwork. So before going to trade, the occupations, we learn agriculture and sericulture. And do you know one thing? The Chinese people were the first to make paper. Okay, I just need to tell you, they were the first to make paper, to cultivate tea, and to read silk from the silkworms. Okay, now trade. So the Chinese people, they traded with Egypt, Mesopotamia, Persia, which means the modern Iran, then or India. So they traded with these countries. And what do you think? In which vehicle they traded? You'll be thinking, camels and donkeys. No. Have you heard about caravans? So caravans are nothing than, they are actually vehicles. But inside that, there used to be like something like a house. All the facilities will be inside. Like a house. There won't be a swimming pool. Like inside a house will be there, a bed will be there, a kitchen will be there. So that type of vehicle is known as caravan. So they traded in these caravans. And the main items of export are silk, as I told here. Silk, tea, paper, and Chinaware. These 4 items are the main items that were exported to other countries. So the major achievements. So as you know, the major achievement is Great Wall of China. That's the thing we need to know in the architecture. So that was a very big architectural and it is one of the 7 wonders of the Asian world. So this Great Wall of China, it was built to prevent the tribal attacks from the other countries to enter into the northern boundary of this China. And do you know in which time it was built? 3rd century BC. And in fact, can I give you? The Great Wall of China is more than 8,400 kilometers, and there are 10,000 watchtowers. Watchtowers, I'll tell you now. 10,000 watchtowers in the entire length of the Great Wall of China. So watchtowers are nothing then. They are like small buildings. Just imagine that this is the Great Wall of China. and here is a watchtower. So this watchtower, they'll be inside soldiers. So they'll be looking outside to watch for enemy activities. Any enemies are coming for attacks. They'll be looking, and near the watchtower there'll be a beacon tower. So the watchtower people, they will tell to the beacon tower people, and they will give smoke and fire signals, and so that the other soldiers will be get alerted. So that's the thing that happens in the Great Wall of China. So that's what we need to know in the architecture. And have you known that the Chinese people, they build many pagodas? It's not pagoda, it's pagodas. So pagodas means it's like buildings. In India itself, you can see many buildings like this. Like a pine tree, they'll be like this. And here there'll be a building. They are known as pagodas. So they are actually buildings where the followers of Buddhism, they pray. And these pagodas are decorated with beautiful sculptures. Then sciences. So the Chinese, they contributed to almost all the branches of science. They know how to predict the appearance of a comet and eclipses. They followed both the solar and lunar calendars. And the Chinese people, they invented, seismograph? So they invented the seismograph for measuring the magnitude of the earthquakes. They also invented other things like gunpowder, then the magnetic compass, kite, umbrella, and wheelbarrow. So these are things which the Chinese have invented. And they didn't invent paper, they made paper. They were the first people to make paper. Okay, so now we learn the sciences. Script. So what was the Chinese script? As you think, but it's not pictographic. It is represented by pictures, and each picture, it represents a word or an idea. And do you know one thing? It's a difficult thing that you'll be shocked that the Chinese script is written from top to bottom. It won't be written like this, left to right. From top to bottom they will write. Trade means T-R-A-D-E. They'll be writing like that in their own script. So that's the main thing we need to know in the script. And being a difficult script, many people they didn't even learn. They didn't get educated, and literacy didn't spread along the masses. So this script, the Chinese writing, the Chinese people, they wrote on bamboo plates, animal bones, and in silk cloth with the help of a brush made with the camel hair. So this makes the writing to look like a painting. Okay, so it looks like a painting. And this Chinese people, they made paper and they started to write on paper. Okay, so that's all we need to know in this lesson. And the Chinese civilization, it provided a great progress in the human history, and it's a very happy thing to tell. There's no decline. Okay, so what did you understand in this lesson? What did you think this Chinese civilization is different from the other civilization? It is advanced. It's very, very advanced. That's why it didn't decline. So now in today's class, I introduced a topic for you, and we learned about a small fact about the terracotta army. Then we learned about the society, a religion, the occupations. In that we learned about the agriculture, sericulture, metal work, pottery making, woodwork. Then we learned about the trade, and with which countries they traded. And major achievements, we learned about the architecture, that's the Great Wall of China, sciences and script. So hope you like my class today. Bye friends, see you in the next class.